At home, I was suffering. I was not myself. You know, I didn't have no rights. I didn't have no freedom.
I was speaking out. I was raising the voices there for women. They threatened me.
Verbally abused and controlling relationship. He controlled even the food that I ate.
He would grab me. He would put his hands on me and cover my mouth and my nose until I couldn't breathe.
He began to abuse me physically and emotionally.
Everything good just didn't exist anymore.
And I was made to feel guilty, I was made to feel small, I was made to feel insignificant.
My children had to leave their school just so that they would not be kidnapped and have my daughter circumcised.
I didn't think that much about myself. I was thinking about how to keep my kids around me.
We have to leave because our life was in danger.
And I was really afraid of him. And I said, okay, it's enough. I need to leave.
He said he was going to take everything away from me, including my rights to be a permanent resident.
In the country I didn't know, without any language at all, without any legal status.
There was no resources. I didn't know where to go.
And I never thought I was going to be able to get out of that hole.
Sadly, gender-based violence is a disease afflicting the world today. Women and girls all over the planet, from many cultures and many religions, are suffering. And we are inspired at the Tahirih Justice Center by their courageous stance against the violence they've suffered to help provide justice.
I felt that the whole world was against me because my husband made it seem that it was me who was to blame for his shortcomings, who was to blame for his losses of temper, who was to blame for him hitting me. So it was me who incited him to hit me. I was like a caterpillar in a cocoon. I withstood the abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, psychological abuse while I was in a caterpillar in a cocoon. But slowly, within myself, I began to see that maybe I'm not to blame for all of this. And one day I just burst out of the cocoon and flew away.
When the Tahirih Justice Center's clients come to us, they often have disadvantages that an American woman maybe facing a domestic violence situation wouldn't have. They may not speak English. They may not have any friends or relatives here to support them. They may be completely unaware of the legal rights available to them. And so it's our privilege to try to help and support their efforts to achieve justice.
My immigration status at that time was dependent on my husband's. I was on an H-4 visa, and divorce basically means the end of the immigration status for me. I contacted several people, and most of them were referred me to Tahirih. Most of them said, we can't help you. So Tahirih was amongst the several agencies that I made phone calls to, and they accepted my case.
The Tahirih Justice Center helps immigrant women who may be out of legal status realize the legal status they are entitled to. The law provides for the protection for women and girls who are facing violence and abuse. We help them realize that legal status.
I would have had no option, literally, if Tahirih had not agreed to help me.
Since the beginning of my representation with Rati, she has always been her own self-advocate. When she first entered my office, she was traumatized, having left a very violent situation. But still, she was a confident and strong woman. Tahirih does not have the resources to represent every single woman who calls us on a daily basis. So without the help of other outside professionals who volunteer their time with us, we wouldn't be able to represent the number of women that we represent. I worked with an attorney that was assigned through our pro bono program from a DC area law firm.
I got involved when she originally went to Tahirih, And Tahirih contacted DLA Piper and asked if there would be an attorney that could represent Rati in the immigration process.
Since the Tahirih Justice Center's inception, we've been privileged to help over 6,000 women and girls receive justice. We're proud that we have a 99% litigation success rate and we've never had a client deported. The Tahirih Justice Center pro bono network attorneys are absolute heroes. It's incredible what they donate to the organization as a whole and to our clients specifically.
The lawyers at Tahirih just make themselves so available to you that if you have any question, no matter how silly you may think it is, they're there, and they're there to help you out through the entire process, including some of the stuff that's non-legal in terms of dealing with victims who are from an immigrant population. I think with a lot of victims of domestic violence who are immigrants is that they're completely isolated from their family, from their friends, and they're also very uncertain about the process.
I was undergoing counseling, I was undergoing a divorce, and my immigration was the least of my concerns because Tahirih just took over all of that for me. They were saviors, and I have a lot to thank them for.
Becoming involved with Tahirih gives you a chance to take an active role in helping a woman rebuild her life violence-free.
More lawyers need to be involved with organizations like Tahirih because the problem of immigrant women who are facing domestic violence situations is rather large, and one organization can't do it all.
The primary thing we do is provide free legal services to immigrant and refugee women and girls fleeing violence. But we do that in a holistic way. It involves direct services, public policy advocacy, and then public education and outreach. And it's that unique combination of services that enables us to have the biggest impact for our clients.
In 2001, I was forced to marry the chief of my village, and I didn't want to. I have a fiancé that I love, that I really want to marry him, but you know, by the custom and the arranged marriage, the forced marriage, you know, I have to marry the chief of my village. It's like my own life was taken over. It was a big shadow in my life at that time. It was like a slavery life. I didn't have no freedom, no life, you know, no right. Before, when I was a student, I studied about United States, freedom, that they have a lot of freedom here. I was like, that's the country where I have to go and, you know, to get like peace and a better life and forget about, you know, the past and have a bright future. The challenge that I faced to escape from Cameroon to here was, it was very, very difficult.
When she came to me, she was extremely traumatized. She would dissociate in my office. It was hard for her to concentrate. She was preoccupied with living in this country and trying to find housing and how was she going to support herself, and it was very difficult for her to focus on telling her story.
It was a new country, language barrier, you know, no friend, no relative, and how can I say? I'm sorry. It was like a deep hole in my life, you know. It was like I was lost, and until I met Tahirih.
She worked very closely with a therapist at an outside organization, and that was crucial to my being able to exact the story from her so that I could put on a good legal case for her.
We recognize that achieving legal justice is really only the beginning for our clients, and what they need also is medical care, social services, English as a second language training, job skills training, things of that nature. And so we have full-time social worker on staff and other staff that work tirelessly to make sure that our clients receive true justice.
If you don't have Tahirih, who's gonna fight for who? Who's gonna talk about you? You know, who's gonna talk about your situation? And always, you know, when you are in abused woman like me, you want that freedom. You know, you want your story to be told to people to listen to it. You know, and it's only Tahirih to do that, because sometimes, you know, clients, we are so afraid to talk about it until you met one organization like this and talk about what happened in your life, and they try, you know, to put your life back, to give you your life back.
Tahirih gave me the opportunity to start a new life.
I'm in a safe place and in safe hands too.
I stand here because of Tahirih.
I think the future is brighter every day.
That fear is gone.
I'm going ahead in my life. Yeah, I'm very grateful for everything Tahirih did for me.
For women around the world, they really need supportive organizations like Tahirih Justice Center to protect them.
It is extremely important for women out there to know that Tahirih does exist and that we do have hope to be free.
The first day that I came in this center, I met so many wonderful women, and everybody was ready to help me out, and it was like they gave me a new hope, you know, that I didn't have before for like 4 years. And now I have such a wonderful life, and I really appreciate it every day of my life. You know, I can feed my children. I work right now, and you know, it's wonderful.